Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is February 27th, 1:30 in the afternoon. I have not been flying as of tomorrow for 3 months. We have had, my schedule and Mother Nature have not synced up this winter. My normal flying time Sunday morning. I go to Mass Saturday afternoon, so I got Sunday morning free. Normally it's 6 hours from 6 a.m. when I roll out of bed till about noon. Before I have other commitments with something or another. You know how that goes. And this year, it's not happened. Last one flying November 28th, went up to Janesville, Wisconsin for breakfast and put the plane away. The weather went bad with low clouds, freezing fog every Sunday until around the 26th of December, 27th of December. It was a Monday, so I took a day off work because it's been a month. Come out to the airport, and from the time I left the house, forecast called for beautiful weather. Got to the airport, and there was a cloud ceiling at about 800 feet. Literally, from the time I drove here, it was bad. Then we got an ice storm, and I had 3 inches of ice and packed snow in front of the hangar that I never did recover from until this week when I tried to come over here some Sundays, but the weather was just so freezing, as everybody experienced throughout the month of February. And anyway, so I am very, very rusty, almost rusty enough that I said, well, maybe I need to get an instructor, but I'm not going to do anything. Today we're going to go to the South practice area, and that's why I'm filming myself. I want to catch my airs. And it's not the flying part, the actual manipulation of the aircraft that I worry about so much. It's everything that surrounds it that just atrophies with time. So we're going to go to the South practice area. We're going to do some stalls. We're going to do some steep turns, some slow flight. I'll film all that so I can look for my mistakes. This might be a pretty boring video because we're not actually going anywhere. And then I'm going to come back here and do 3-4 takeoffs and landings. We'll see what I feel like, see how they go, and that's it. So you're along for the ride. Sit back, relax. Like I said, this is more. I'm just trying to catch my mistakes. As I make them, and I'm sure there'll be plenty. So we're about to get the hiatus. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. 121.2.
Wow, to the airport information, Delta 1852 Zulu, wind 210 at 4, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 7, dew point 1, altimeter 3002, visual approaching east, landing and departing runway 27, notice Diamond runway 523 is closed, following taxiways are closed, Hotel 2, Papa 2, Delta, and Kilo 2.
That's a lot of closures.
Advise on initial contact, you have information, Delta.
Okay, we're gonna listen to that again, folks. I want to get these taxi guys.
Delta 1852 Zulu, wind 210 at 4, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 7, dew point 1, altimeter 3002, visual approaching east, landing and departing runway 27, notice Diamond runway 523 is closed, following taxiways are closed, Hotel 2, Papa 2, Delta, and Kilo 2. Advise on initial contact, you have information, Delta.
Okay.
To the airport information, Delta 1852 Zulu, wind 210 at 4, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 7, dew point 1, altimeter 3002, visual approaching east, landing and departing runway 27, notice Diamond runway 523 is closed, following taxiways are closed, Hotel 2, Papa 2, Delta, and Kilo 2, advise on initial contact, you have information, Delta.
Kilo 2, okay, so 27, we're not going to need any of those, awesome, alright.
To the airport information.
Going to make sure I had that correct. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than messing up on a taxi instruction or something, because you're moving slow, but people do it, and I don't want to be one of them. So, okay, we got the hiatus. We don't need an IFR clearance. We are going to need to call clearance delivery. That is 124.05. Good morning, Quad City Clearance Delivery. Correction, good afternoon, Quad City Clearance Delivery. Comanche 6928 Papa at the South Tees with Delta.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City Clearance, their request.
Yes, sir. It's been 3 months since I've been up in the air. I want to go to the South Practice area, then I'm going to come back in for some landings after some maneuvering out there.
Comanche 28 Papa, maintain VFR at or below 4,000, departure frequency 133.27, squawk 0315.
At or below 413327 0315 for my squawk, 28 Papa.
Okay. Comanche 28 Papa, read back correct. Just want to verify it's the South Practice area, correct?
Yes, sir. South or north. If south's busy, I can go north. Doesn't matter.
It's wide open.
I'll take the south then. Thank you, sir. All right. So we got the squawk in 13327 is in 119.4. Ground is 121.9, like it is at most fields, not all, but most. Okay, back to the checklist. We're paying extra special attention to the checklist. Program the GPS, but there's nothing really to program. Transponder is set. It is on altitude. Lights we have. Directional gyro is good. Comm radios are set. Nav radios are set. Airspeed is zeroed. Altimeters are set. They cross-check, and that is the field elevation, or close to it anyway. I'm a little bit, the center of the field is a little bit lower than me. VSI is set. Flaps are up. Trim is set. Landing gear indicator is green. Read the taxiing checklist here. We're going to watch the attitude indicator, turn coordinator. Okay, brakes we're going to check. Brakes are working. All right. Go to our checklist here. All ground, we're on ground. Go to our, okay. Good morning, Quad City Ground, Comanche 6928 Papa at the South Tees, looking to permission to taxi to the active.
Comanche 628 Papa, Quad City Ground, runway 27 at November, intersection departure, taxi via Kilo Golf November, cross runway 31.
Kilo Golf November, clear to cross 31, 6928 Papa. Okay, we are rolling. Rolling.
Comanche 28 Papa, verify you have Delta.
Roger, sir, I do have Delta.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, the tires, it might be a little bit shaky. The tires from sitting actually have flat spots in them where because they've sat. Now that'll slowly come out, at least with newer tires it will. Old tires will get much stiffer, but mine are relatively new, should be fine. Taxi across this light wetness. As you can see, there's still plenty of snow. We had probably...
Tower Envoy 3309.
We had probably 2.5 feet, 2 3/4 foot of snow.
We could get 1-3 for departure.
Because it's been snowing since early December, and we didn't get a warm up. Once in a while, most years actually, we will get a warm up that'll melt some of it off. This year, it started snowing and it stuck. Like when I was a kid, you know, that would happen when I was a kid. But so we got big mounds everywhere. We got to be careful of. But we've had a solid week, or almost solid week, 4 days of above 40 degrees. So in the windswept spots, you've got grass and like my yard still probably got a foot of snow on it, you know. Yeah, I mean there was a time in early January I could walk. There was so much ice on top of the snow from an ice storm. We had freezing fog. It was weird. But I could walk on top of about a foot of snow and didn't break in because there was a bunch of ice on top. It was a miserable winter. I am looking forward to going south at some point, someday. I'm gonna get out of, even if I was just down in Missouri or something like that. You know, they say every 200 miles south, winter lasts a week less. So, but my mother is down in McAllen, Texas, and it was below freezing all the way down there this year. She was not, I don't think she was very happy about that. You know, go all the way to stay warm and still got a winter coat on. So we're taxiing along here. I did air the tires up. That was the one thing in my pre-flight. The mains were off about 6 pounds. The mains are at 42, and the nose is at 27. The nose was only off 2, but the mains were off about 6 pounds, which you could see when you... So that was one thing I did spend some time is airing the tires up. Actually, the mechanic puts nitrogen in them. I don't have that, though, so of course now it's a mix of nitrogen and air. Just because nitrogen doesn't expand and contract so much with temperature, where, you know, like air does. Okay, we taxi along Kilo, and I'm not going to lie, I am feeling a little bit nervous. I might have mentioned that already. In 13 years of flying, this is the longest stretch I've gone without exercising it. By far, a month for me was a long time, but 3. So we're going to be extra cautious. I'm kind of wondering how bumpy it is with these different different colors on the ground. I'm wondering just how bumpy it is up there. It might be pretty bumpy. Spring can be some of the bumpiest, especially when you get the sun coming up and you got all these fallow fields where it's just dark black earth that's been dissed up last fall, and you can really get some good bumps. Once the corn and beans are up, at least in this part of the country, things will even out a little bit more, and then you'll just get your typical summer thermals. All right, so we go left on Golf. So I hope everybody's had a good winter, safe, and COVID monster stayed at bay. And if you're over a certain age, I hope you're getting your vaccine. Those that want it, those that don't, I understand. Okay, coming up on 1331, we are cleared across. Runway is clear, the sky is clear. Go ahead and wiggle across.
Runway 31, 5,500 feet remaining.
Yes, dear. It's actually a pretty neat feature that ForeFlight is using. We'll talk some maybe today about what plans I got coming up here. My annual is in 3 weeks. So 3 weeks I'll be taking the plane up to Heritage in Freeport, turning her over to Sean and Cliff. Sean's the only other person that's ever flown this thing while I've owned it. First time he did it, I jokingly, of course, told him, I said, look, Sean's a good-looking young man. I said, look, I'd rather really have you sleep with my wife than fly the plane. But yeah, I let him. It was after like 3 years of me watching him fly other planes. Okay, brake set. Doors and windows closed and locked. My missus is going to hit me for that, by the way. Okay. Checklist. Brake set, doors and windows closed and locked. Flight controls free and correct. Flight instruments set. Directional gyro, we'll double check. That does look good. Mixture, we're going to leave it lean. Throttle to 1500 RPM. One, RPM drops. 2, manifold pressure rises. And now we're looking at the oil pressure gauge is wiggling. Now we go to 2000 RPM, watching that we don't creep. Now we're going to check the magneto and the EIS system to make the electronic ignition. So there's 2000. EIS comes off, EIS comes off first, so that's the mag. About 75 RPM. EIS back on. Now the mag drop, as I've mentioned before, is about 10 RPM. That's it. That EIS is much more efficient. That's back on. Carb heat's good. Oil temperature's up. Cylinder head temperatures are up. Everything looks good over there. Oil temperature's 136. Back to idle. Good idle. Back to 1,000. Okay. So throttle, we checked the propeller. Manifold pressure, EIS. Carb heat, engine instruments look good. Amp meter, we are charging. Fuel pressure throttle to 1,000. Pre-takeoff checklist. Okay, circuit breakers. Everything is in. Trim, final check. Radio, we set to tower, which is here. Next frequency is set. Transponder is on alt. Flaps are up. Floor is clear. Primer is in and locked. Carb heat is closed. Propeller is full forward. Throttle, the nut is loose. Mixture will get on roll on with our fuel flaps trim. Pitot heat we're not going to need. Strobes are on. Landing and taxi lights coming on. Fuel boost pump we will get as we cross the line. Review the takeoff checklist and we'll go to tower. So review, fuel flaps trim, rotate. Today is 85. We're a little bit light, so we're probably gonna do about 80. 105 is VY. Brakes, gear, flaps. Into a cruise climb, 2,500 RPM. We'll back that off. Try to keep the cylinder head temperatures below 400. Trim for the climb, mixture over 3,000. We're going to go to 3,500. Okay. So fuel flaps trimmed to go. In the event of an issue, we got 10,000 feet of runway. Actually, we've got about 8,000 feet of runway left. So if we have any problems, we'll set her down straight ahead. If it is, if we are out of runway, there are farm fields to the left. So we will, and we can't turn back to the runway, we'll turn left. There is an interstate that runs north-south, and then there's a bend up here east-west. If we have to, we can always set her down on that as well. That's it. All right. Let's go to tower.
Good morning, Quad City Tower, Comanche 6928 Papa, November and 27. We're ready for takeoff, sir.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City Tower, turn left heading 230, runway 27 at November, clear for takeoff.
Left 230, November 27, we are cleared for takeoff, 28 Papa.
Comanche 28 Papa, traffic 4 miles west of the field is an experimental entering the right downwind for 27.
6928 Papa, 4 west of the field, we'll be looking.
Experimental 839er, traffic is the Comanche departing runway 27 at this time, turning southwestbound.
Okay, we'll keep our eyes out for him, thank you very much. 30839.
Okay, coming up here on center line. Windsock, slight left to right. Fuel, flaps, trim, on the roll. There's full power. Fuel flows look good. Airspeed is alive. There's 75, there's 80, she wants to fly. Let her turn into the wind. A little bit shaky on the takeoff there, but not too bad. Positive rate of climb, gear coming up. Flaps are up. We're looking for 105. There's 105. Now we're looking for an experimental. 4 miles west of the field.
Comanche 28 Papa, turn left heading 180.
Left 180 for 28 Papa.
Okay.
839 got the Comanche.
Experimental 839er, roger. Runway 27 clear to land, wind 170 at 4.
1 mile, 100 feet above.
Roger that, 170 at 4.
Comanche, correction, experiment 839 affirmative. It's fluctuating between calm and right now it's reading 170 at 4.
Yep, that'll do. 3-way 39.
Comanche 2-way pop, contact departure.
2-way pop, sir, we're over to departure, thank you. Good morning, Quad C departure, Comanche 69, 2-way pop, sir, I'm still looking for that experimental.
Should be above.
November 69 or 2-way Papa Quad City, departure, radar contact, VFR altitude, pilot discretion, proceed on course, south practice area, and that experimental traffic is no factor.
69 2-way Papa, climbing to 3,500 to south practice, thank you.
Cirrus 8 Charlie Delta, copy, you said you're departing
Okay,
on
let's get into a little bit faster cruise climb. Cylinder head's looking pretty good. 384 is my hottest. Take that fuel boost pump coming off.
8 Charlie Delta, roger, release for departure, report airborne. Quad City altimeter 3001.
Heading is 180. Okay, so we're going to 3,000, or we're going to the south practice area. All right, folks, we are up in the air. As you can see, it is plenty bright. Still snow pretty much everywhere. Air is smoother than I thought. 1,000 feet to go. We're going for 3,500. Now, the south practice area, if anybody wants to look it up on a map, and maybe I can take a picture and insert it in the video or something. I don't know how to do that, but is located between Joy
8 Charlie Delta,
and
traffic is 1 mile north of Davenport Airport.
over near New Windsor, Illinois. You're just outside the 10-mile ring, or about 15 miles south of the field. There's 3,000. We're going to 3,500. Let's go to 2,500. Back this off a little bit. The temperatures are looking good. Climbing at 1,000 feet a minute at 130 miles an hour indicated. Gauges all look good. Out of cylinders 376. 50 feet to go. Alright, let's go ahead and slide the nose down to the horizon. Pick up some speed here. Now, since we are not in a hurry, we're going to pull the throttle or the manifold pressure back here. Oh, we'll do 18. My normal maneuvering, 18 inches. 2,300 RPM, 2,400 RPM. Because we're not in a hurry. We're not really going anywhere. Little nose up. All right. Put boost that up to 2,400. Just over Fire Lake, which is a housing division. Yeah, there's definitely some wind up here from that way because we're drifting. Go ahead and switch fuel tanks. That's saying we only used 2.7 so far, so we'll leave that for a bit. So updates, the 3100 has been approved, the autopilot. has been approved. I've talked to radio, or the, oh God, what's the name of David's company? Oh, it's over there, the avionics place in the Rockford Airport. Avionics place, that's right, avionics place, that's the name. Anyway, we are, there's 200 feet, look at that. We're scheduled as, now STEC has to do, the 400 is approved and they're shipping. The 250s, 260s, they got to do a couple flight tests to adjust something called gain. I'm not real sure what that is, but they'll get that adjusted. And then they'll be shipping, so I'm hoping, the way it's looking, that we are talking, you know, April, mid-April, late April, which is good. That'll work for me. Plane goes into annual, and then I'll have Sean take it from Freeport right over to Rockford. I've decided I'm replacing these with GI 275s. Dave gave me a trade-in on these, so I'm going to use that. Put two 275s because they work better with the 3100 autopilot. They'll do some additional things that these won't do. So I'm looking forward to that. At the same time.
Quad City Airport information, Echo current altimeter 3001.
01. And that's really about it. We're going to do the yokes. We're going to put the 3100 in. The transponder is going to go from here over here to this side. Drop this stack down. Slide the autopilot in here, and we'll be set. All right. So we are over the south practice area. So we bring the RPMs back up because we're going to be doing some maneuvering. And let's start out with just a nice easy turn. Just to kind of get the feel of the plane, rudder. Let's check our clears. Make sure there's nobody around us. Everything looks good.
Sierra 6268 Charlie Delta transmitting Quad City approach.
So nice 2-minute turn. Make sure the ball stays centered. Turn to the left here and we will head east for a minute.
Sierra 268 Charlie Delta Quad City approach.
All right, let's go up to 3,500.
Sierra 8 Charlie Delta.
So we want to practice keeping our altitude correct and holding a heading and all that stuff that you do in basic that we're just going to kind of keep feeling, or get the feeling back in here. Okay, so how about we do a stall? Let's do a stall. Now we're going to put the gear, flaps and gear down, so we're inside gear speed. Gear's coming down. Now the thing with stalls, I don't like stalls, by the way, is to make sure the ball stays centered. That way the plane is balanced and she stalls nice and even. So there's 100 miles an hour. Go ahead and get a notch in. Another notch. Third notch. All right, and we're going to pull power. We're going to do a power off stall, and we're watching the ball. We're watching our airspeed. Watching the ball. Watching the airspeed. Keep pulling back. Keep pulling back. There's 60. There's the buffet. Boom. Down she goes. You just let the nose come down. Back on the power. Flaps come in. We lost 400 feet. Back on the power. Bring the gear back up. That was a stall, power off stall in a Piper Comanche. As you can see, it's really not a lot of anything. It really is not a lot of anything. We'll do another one. Let me get back up to my altitude. Gears up, flaps are up. We're in a climb. See, you have the intense desire to pull back on the yoke. And that's the wrong thing to do. She'll stay stalled. And you'll see this light just flicker when she's about to stall. Okay. So let's get up here. We get slowed back down. Okay, inside gear speed, gears coming down. Gears down. Inside flap speed. And let's go ahead and put her in a stall. Watching the ball, watching our airspeed indicator. Power's off, pulling back on the yoke, back on the yoke, back on the yoke. There's 75, 65, there's 60, there's the light, and then down she goes. You just feel a buffet. Back on the gas, you release the back pressure. Back to flying. And gear coming up. That's it, folks. That's a stall. We quit flying. Okay, so we're back up to 3,500. That time we even lost less altitude. So back up to 3,500. And we're going to switch tanks here. And we're going to turn back to the
268
west.
Charlie Delta Quad City approach.
All right, so we are going to do steep turns next. First, right main on, left main off. We're going to go back down to 3,500, 4.5. Okay. That's 23.5, and we are on the right tank. Okay, let's get back down to 3,500. Set this. Yeah, you don't get, the stall warning light, and part of this is because of the tip tanks. Normally, that stall warning light on a regular Comanche without tip tanks would come on way early, but on when you have tip tanks, they change how the air moves off the end of the wing, and it'll just flicker before a stall. But you do get a big buffet in the yoke. I mean, it'll sit there and do this. It'll buffet. And that's how I know it's coming. I rarely even look at the stall warning light. Okay, so let's find a crossroad up here. Let's see here, where's a good crossroad? Up here about, well, that's about 5 miles. Let's find something shorter than that. And we're just gonna do a turn around a point. We're gonna do, well, first let's do a steep turn. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do a steep turn around this town.
Cirrus 268
So,
Quad City departure right now.
We're at 3,540.
Cirrus 8
Close
Charlie
enough.
Delta radar contact 1 mile north.
And we're going to do 360-degree turn.
000, maintain 4,000.
And we pull back on the yoke to keep the altitude. We add a little power. Watch our airspeed. We're actually climbing a little bit. There's 270 degrees. And we're getting ready to roll out. Back on the heading, back on 270. Okay, now, so I did gain some altitude there. I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to stay 80 feet. Okay, and I started 35, 40. Okay, I gained 40 feet. That's all right though. But during the turn, I gained about 100. So now we're going to do a steep turn to the right. So same thing. Here we go. Roll in, nose it up a little bit. There's 180. Could be a little bit steeper, maybe. Next, we're gonna practice just some slow flight. We're just gonna practice some slow flight.
Departure Envoy 3309 is 2,300 climbing 4,000 direct wind.
Envoy 3309, Quad City departure, radar contact, maintain 10,000.
And we're back at 270.
10,000, Envoy.
And we roll out on the western heading. Okay, so let's do some slow flight. Let's get her slowed down. Actually, let's check the gear alert. So if I pull manifold pressure.
Warrior 544 Charlie Alpha, Quad City approach, squawk 0314.
There's the gear. Okay, so the gear is working. So let's do some slow flight. Gear coming out.
3309, contact Chicago Center 118.75, safe flight.
1875, you have a good day, Envoy 3309.
Gear is down.
Warrior 4 Charlie
Flaps.
Alpha, radar contact 3 miles north of Davenport Airport.
Okay, so we're going to hold 3,500, and we're just going to fly right at the bottom of the white arc. There's 80. So, pitch
Warrior 4 Charlie Alpha,
controls airspeed. Power is going to control my altitude.
Roger.
So there's, right at the bottom of the green arc, about 72 miles an hour indicated airspeed. A little bit more nose up. I'm sinking a little bit, so we're going to try to go right for the bottom of the white arc is what we're aiming for. A little bit more power. Hold altitude. A little bit more power. Hold altitude. Right there, there's 68 miles an hour. If I didn't have tip tanks, the thing would be blaring, or the stall warning would be lit up. And we can make shallow turns this slow. Very shallow, nice and easy turns. And it feels mushy. Okay, let's go back the other direction. And I'm using a lot of right rudder because the prop is actually working on the wings. Very shallow. Nice easy turns. See that? And that's 70, just under 70, 68 miles an hour. A lot of right rudder. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, so now to recover, we add power, push the nose down, let her pick up some airspeed.
Delta contact, Cedar Rapids approach 119.7.
80. Let's go ahead and put in one notch. Put in the second. And the third's going in. Gear's coming up. All right, that felt good, actually. That felt good. Nice and slow. I'm sorry, that was about 68 miles an hour, not 78, just under 70. And it'll stall right at about 60 with these tip tanks at this weight. I got full mains, partial tips, half tips, and then my fat butt in here. Okay. All right, nice. All right, that's good. Let me think. It's just so nice up here. I guess we should go back for some landings. I need to get 2 or 3 landings in to feel a little bit more comfortable. All right, so let's tell Quad Cities.
Quad City approach, Comanche 6928 Papa, sir. We're coming back in. We'd like to do some pattern work if we could.
Comanche 28 Papa, enter a left midfield downwind, runway 27.
Left midfield downwind for 27, 28 Papa.
A little bit of a haze layer.
Comanche 28 Papa, contact tower 119.4.
28 Papa, over to tower. Thank you, sir. You have a good week. Good morning, Quad City Tower. Comanche 6928 Papa. We are about 8 miles south of the field, inbound for a left downwind entry for 27.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City Tower, runway 27 clear for the option, wind 210 at 4.
28 Papa cleared for the option. Thank you, sir.
Okay, 27. And now, when I do this, I come to a full stop on the runway, reset trim and flaps, and then take off again. In a Cessna, like a training aircraft, you can just trim it and power in. But, or actually you can just power in and muscle it until you reach up for the trim. I don't like doing that because of the landing gear and everything. I want to do my gumps and for landing checklist, seatbelt, shoulder harness, emergency gear lever, then we do our gear, fuel pump we'll get with gumps, mixture, prop, all the rest of it. Okay. So we're at 2,000 feet. We're looking for 1,600. We're 5 miles from the field. Oh, there's some bumps. Wonder where that came from. Then it could be these dark woods here, maybe. Okay. So, landing speed today is going to be 80 miles an hour. I calculated that before I left. Yeah, we used 7. I calculated 8 gallons. So we're going to do 100, 90. Inbound, we'll drop it to 80. Gear will drop midfield. Flaps we'll put in at the numbers. There's 1,600 feet. Let's pull level. Actually, I'm going to take that off. That's a little bit annoying. I don't need it for the charts. All right, we are inside gear speed. Everything is complete except the gumps. Okay, we make our right turn, downwind 27. And I don't recommend coming to a stop on a runway on a non-towered field. I do it here because the tower is watching my back. Okay. We're on a left downwind, almost midfield. at pattern altitude. There's midfield, gear coming down. Now we're going to slow to 100 with the gear down. And we'll almost to the numbers. We'll start adding in flaps and pull some power.
160 at 4.
Okay, so we're going to have left to right, 4 knots, not a big deal. There's 100 miles an hour. Gear is down. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop, because I really haven't moved those. All right, first notch of flaps coming in. And point the nose down. Let's start bleeding some altitude. And I want to be on a 45 on the end, off the end of the runway. Actually, I'm a little bit far out. We're going to turn left here, enter the base. Give it a little bit of gas. I'm at about 95 miles an hour. Okay, second notch of flaps coming in. Twist to trim. Check final. Bird out that way. Runway's clear. Check the gear. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop. Speed, I want 90 here. There's 90. Turning final. Okay, now a little high. Pull a little bit of power, get the sync going. Go ahead and throw our third notch because we got a little bit extra speed. And we're looking for, 85, there's 85. There's 80. Be a little bit left to right. All right, I'm still slightly above glide slope. You can see 3 white, 1 red. I'm looking for 2 and 2. There's 80. Gas, runway's clear, check the gear, gear is down. There's my 2 red, a little bit of a sink, there's 80 miles an hour. Okay, let's go ahead and take the crab out. Pull power. Thumb level. A little flat, but not bad. Dump the gear. Or dump the flaps, dump the gear. And we're going to come to a complete stop on the runway. We're going to reset trim where I can visually check it.
Touching runways 23 and 13, 31.
Okay, that's slow enough.
31.
Flaps. Go boost pump is on still. Back on the power. There's full power. Airspeed's still alive. There's 60. There's 70. There's 75. She wants to fly. We'll nose it up. Let the crab come out. Gear coming up. Flaps are up. Pitch it for 105. There's 105. Gear's up. Flaps are up. 1,600 feet is pattern altitude.
Comanche 28 Papa, left or right traffic at your discretion until further advised.
Roger, 6928 Papa, sir. We will go left again. 28 Papa.
Go left because that's what you're most used to when you're knocking the rust off. There's 1,000 feet. Left turn into the crosswind. Cylinder head temperatures are looking good. Now we turn into the downwind. Went a little bit high there. So we gotta come back off. Fuel boost pump coming off. Okay, there's 1,600 feet. We're inside gear speed. Notice I'm flying this way because the air is coming this way and it's pushing me. I don't want to get pushed back towards the runway. I need that room, or want that room anyway. 110 miles an hour indicated. So we're inside.
Comanche 28 Papa, runway 27 cleared for the option, wind 160 at 4.
6928 Papa, cleared for the option. Thank you.
Gear coming down. And this will get the speed down to 100, which is where I like to put the flaps out. So gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop. Speed, there's 100. We are abeam the numbers. First notch of flaps going in. Power comes out, nose comes down. What is it, about 14 inches or so? Keeps me at 100 miles an hour with a 500, and I do it by ear. Half the time I don't look. You just kind of, that sounds right. I don't know how else to explain it. Actually, maybe 15 inches. Sounds a little bit better. Okay, we are left turn. We got one notch in. We'll turn base. We'll drop the second notch in and go for 90. Okay, second notch in. Final is clear. Turn final. This trailer court down here, I used to live, when I was a little boy, I lived in that trailer court. I used to watch planes do this all the time. All right, we are a little bit close. So we're gonna pull power. Third notch coming in. We're gonna make an adjustment. Point the nose down until I'm back on glide slope. Okay, she's coming back in. There's 85 miles an hour. Short final, we want 80. There, we're back on glide slope. So we get the juice back in a little bit to hold that descent rate. And our nose is a little bit to the left to cancel the crosswind. There's 80 miles an hour. Okay, let's take the crab out, dip the wing. There she went. Okay. You know something I didn't do? Runway clear, check the gear on short final. I've been trying to get myself to do that every time. Matter of fact, I didn't do gumps but once when I was on base. I like to do it 3 times. Okay, flaps are up. Trim is set. Fuel boost pump is still on. Crosswind correction in. Up on the power.
At runways 23 and 13, 31.
And there's full power. Airspeed is alive. There's 75, there's 80, she wants to fly. Up she comes. let the crab work itself in. Pitch for 105. Gear coming up. Flaps are up. There's 105. Cylinder head temperatures look good. There's 1,900 feet, or I'm sorry, 900 feet. There's 1,000.
6928 Pop, sir. I'll do left again.
Roger.
All right, we'll do one more and then we'll do a right. We're going to change it up a little bit. Okay, we're looking for 1,600 feet. Check the downwind. Downwind looks good. Okay, there's 1,550. Pull a little power here. (1,600 feet). Fuel boost pump coming off. That way the engine-driven fuel pump, if you run the boost pump all the time, it doesn't get any cooling fuel through the engine-driven one, and you can get what's called vapor lock. So when I'm doing stuff like this, and it's good to do I'm supposed to do gumps 3 times, and I only did it once last time. So we're going to correct that this time. Okay, so we're midfield, inside gear speed, gear coming down. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop. Gear is down speed. We're looking for 100 miles an hour.
2-8 Papa, runway 27 clear for the option, wind 130 at 3.
6928 Papa, cleared to the option. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we're inside flap speed. We are abeam the numbers. First notch of flaps going in. Fuel. Dumps, right? Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop, speed. Okay. 1 notch is in, we pull power, point the nose down. And you get out of, after, especially, and I am guilty of this, when you're flying a lot, you don't do this a lot. Because you're going to an airport, you enter the pattern or whatever, or you do an instrument, straight in entry, which I know there's a whole argument there on that. Okay. Go ahead and turn base. So this kind of pattern work, most pilots, and I think this is true, most pilots don't do it past training. I do it, like I said, knock the rust off when I haven't flown for a bit. Okay, second notch of flaps, gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop, speed. I'm looking for 90, I'm on 90. Turn final. Okay, so I'm a little bit high, as you can see, 4 white. I'm at 90. We'll pull some power. I'm going to keep this pitch angle, but I'm going to pull power to increase the rate of descent. But I want to keep my airspeed the same. And there's only so much of this that you can do. So now I can dip the nose down. See how I'm slowing? Now I'm coming down. There's 1. There's 2. Add in that little bit of power back in. There's 90. I want 3rd notch. I want to get to 80 now. Now we give her a little bit of gas to slow down the rate of descent.
Quad City Tower, Skyway,
Okay.
2465 Charlie, 8 miles.
Take the crab out.
Inbound, request touch and go.
Skywagon 24.
Runway's clear. Gear is down.
For the option, wind 130 at 4.
Oh, that one was pretty. All right. Okay, so flaps are up. Let's reach up and get our trim. Fuel boost pump is still on. Crosswind correction in. Still working good on this fuel tank. Power coming in.
Tower 6928 Papa, sir, this one will be to the right unless that fella's coming from the north and you want me left.
Comanche 692, Papa negative, right 10, traffic works. If you want to extend your upwind about an extra mile, that should work out.
6928 Papa, will do, sir.
There's 80. Coming off. Let the crab develop on its own. Positive rate of climb. Gear coming up. Flaps are up. Pitch for 105. We'll extend about a mile more, he said. Okay, flaps are up, gears up. 1,600 feet. That's pattern altitude.
Tower 692 Papa, sir, this one will be to a full stop.
Comanche 2 Papa, roger.
We'll go get some gas. I love cold air. Look at that. 1,250 foot a minute, 120
Skywagon 65.
miles an
Traffic
hour.
is a Comanche and a right traffic for 27.
65 Charlie, roger.
Just nuts. Okay, there's 1,600
And
feet.
Comanche 2 Papa, turn right crosswind at this time.
28 Papa, turning over the line here.
Which is about a mile. He said he wanted a mile. That may be timing-wise. Okay, so we don't need to climb anymore. All right, folks, now we're looking back that way.
Quad City Tower, on F100 Alpha.
We got to lose about 100 feet.
27, entering right downwind.
994 Alpha, Quad City Tower, continue inbound. Report a midfield right downwind for 27.
Port midfield right downwind for 27, on F100 Alpha.
All right, folks. Got about another 50 foot to lose here to stay on pattern altitude. There we go. And this below us is called John Deere Road. We call it John Deere Road. And it's a shopping road. It used to be the John Deere Expressway, but stuff has grown up around it. Okay, November 2465 Charlie is out here. We're going to have to extend our downwind, I think, as well.
Comanche 2 Papa, runway 27 clear to land number 2. Skywagon traffic's half mile final for 27.
6928 Papa, sir, I'm looking for him and cleared land number 2. 28 Papa.
Okay, we are midfield, but until I get this fella, I don't want to commit anything. Damn, it's hard to pick a white airplane out against snow. Even with all these dark trees, I'm hoping for a flash of sunlight or something. Okay. Let's turn the boost pump on. We'll get it. Turn it off for me. There he is.
28 Papa, sir, has the traffic over the numbers. 28 Papa.
Comanche 2 Papa, roger.
Okay. Gas. Undercarriage. Mixture prop. Going 2 notches here. And we're going to look for 90 miles an hour. And we want to be 45 to the downwind, or 45 to the end of the runway. And I'm a little bit high again and looking for the guy. All right, so gas, undercarriage, mixture prop,
Line 949 Alpha.
Speed.
Traffic is a Skywagon departing runway 27 at this time, entering left traffic for 27.
We'll be looking for traffic on 949 Alpha.
There's 90 miles an hour, that's what I want. Turning base. This other fella is on the ground. This Illini.
Skywagon 65 Charlie, make left traffic for runway 27 traffic, 3 miles west of the field. There's a Cherokee entering right traffic for 27.
65 Charlie, enter left traffic 27.
Okay, second notch is in, gas, undercarriage, mixture prop, speed 90 is perfect. Everything looks different when you're in right traffic to left traffic. Okay.
949 Alpha, got the traffic side.
Line 949 Alpha, roger.
A little bit high again. But we're going to come in slightly below glide slope this time because I want to make that turn off. Third notch of flaps coming in. Looking for 80 miles an hour. 80 miles an hour. There's 80. And I want to land close to the numbers.
Another touch and go.
Skywagon 65 Charlie, roger, extend your downwind, I'll call you.
I am below glide slope.
65 Charlie, extend downwind.
There's 80 miles an hour.
On the midfield.
Gas, runway's clear. Check the gear. Gear is down.
949 Alpha, roger, runway 27 clear to land. Wind 160 at 3. Traffic is a Comanche about just over the numbers now.
27 clear to land on 949 Alpha.
Nice. Dump it. On the
28
brakes.
Papa, turn left taxiway November.
Roger, sir. Left on November, 28 Papa.
Ooh, there we go, folks. That was short field. Well, short field for me anyway. Some guys might sit there and laugh at me, but for me that's like 1,500 feet or something like that.
28 Papa, taxi via November Golf Kilo, cross runway 13 to parking, remain this frequency.
November Golf Kilo, clear to cross 13, stay with you. Thanks, guys. You have a great week.
You as well.
Okay. Fuel boost pump coming off. Mixture going lean.
Skywagon 65 Charlie, traffic.
Flaps are up.
About a mile and a half is a Cherokee, inbound for runway 27, advise if you get that traffic in sight.
Okay.
Was that for
I see
65
him.
Charlie?
That's Skywagon
Runway's
65 Charlie.
clear.
Traffic about your 9
Approaches
o'clock
are
in about
clear.
a mile and a half. The Cherokee inbound for runway 27, just advise if you get that traffic in sight.
65 Charlie, looking.
So, folks, I know this is going to be an extremely long video. Matter of fact, I don't even think you're with me on this one anymore. I hope you're with me on this one.
Skywagon 65 Charlie, affirmative.
We'll see. Have a great week. I'm going to try to get up again before I take this up to annual if the weather cooperates. If it doesn't, that's okay as well. Thanks for riding along. I know it's a long video, but I just need to knock the rust off. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
We did